guys, it's Cindy Lietz, your polymer clay tutor. In today's studio tip, we're talking about the color shifts that can happen between a raw piece of clay and a baked piece of clay. And we're specifically talking about the brand Premo. Now, a little while ago, I introduced to you some of the new colors for Premo polymer clay. And I had shown some baked and some raw samples comparing each other, and a lot of people appreciated that. So I thought I would do it for the whole Premo line, and maybe in the future I can do other lines as well, because there is a bit of a difference between some of the colors when they're baked. All right, so I have them all out here. Now I had started putting them together in the center and ran out of space and had to jump back. So I am going to start in the middle, which seems a little strange, but I wanted to start with these regular colors first. And I've got 2 rows of each color. The first row here is raw and the second row is baked. Now, I'm going to name each color so that you know which color it is, and then you'll be able to see whether there's much of a color shift or not. Now, the first 4 colors here, there's very little color shift. This is white, black, ecru, and raw sienna. Now with the burnt umber, you can see the baked sample is a little darker. And there's a lot of difference between, this is the color beige. Now beige has a lot of translucent in it. It was kind of meant for doll making. And you can see anything that has a lot of translucent in it will have a milkier look when it's raw than when it's baked. And then when you hold it up to the light, you can see that there's a lot of light that can shine through it. So you can tell it's more translucent in color. And beige is very translucent. Now the next 2 colors here have a bit of a color shift as well. They have both gone darker. This is alizarin crimson and this is fuchsia. Those 2 colors tend to do that. They tend to be a little, they tend to do a bit of a color shift. Now the next 4 colors have almost no color shift at all between the raw and the baked. So this is cadmium red, pomegranate, blush, and orange. Now we'll go over here to this row. The 2 yellows here at the top do have a bit of a color shift. This is cadmium yellow and zinc yellow. And you can see both of them have gotten a little bit darker. Cadmium yellow is pretty close, but zinc yellow does go a little darker. The next 3 colors have almost 0 shift, and this is sunshine yellow, wasabi, and Spanish olive. Now there is quite a bit of a color shift here with the green. It also has a fair amount of translucent in it, and you can see that if you hold that up to the light. It is more kind of a 50-50 kind of translucency to it, not as translucent as, say, the beige was. But it does have a bit of a color shift there. So that's you're going to need to take that into consideration when you're doing color mixing and that kind of thing. Now, the next one has almost no color shift, and this is jungle. The next one is turquoise, and you can see here it has shifted in color. It's gotten a little bit darker and a little bit greener. This one has a little bit more of a baby blue look to it. It's really subtle, not a big difference, but I can see the difference. And this one's very opaque, so it's not a translucency issue with that one. Okay, the next one here is ultramarine, and it gets darker. And it's another one like that green one that has a bit of translucency to it, kind of a 50-50 type thing. And the next one here is cobalt blue, and cobalt blue has very little shift. The next one is periwinkle. Had to think about that for a second because that's a brand new color. And there's almost no shift at all. Purple is gets darker, and it's a little bit similar to the ultramarine. It has a bit of translucency to it. Not quite as much as the ultramarine, but a bit. Now let's go back up here. This is the brand new wisteria. Now wisteria has 0 color shift at all. I can't see a difference other than it's a little shinier when it's raw. This is rhino gray, and there's also no shift there. Now these 2 are the translucents. There used to be more translucents. They're down here. I'll talk about them in a minute, but they've been discontinued. But the two translucents that they still carry are regular translucent and white translucent. When they are raw and in a small chip like this, you can't see a huge difference between the two. When they're in a large 1 pound block, you can see it. The regular translucent is a little more yellow and the white translucent is more white. And I'll show you that up here by the light, and hopefully you'll be able to see that the regular is a little more yellow than the white. They're about the same in translucency. And translucent clay does not mean it's see-through, it just means that light can go through it. Unless it's like paper thin, and then you can see through it pretty good. All right, so these next colors here are the pearls. And there isn't a huge difference at all between the color shifts. The only thing that you'll notice a little bit of a difference on between a baked pearl and a raw pearl is that they seem a little bit more sparkly. I don't know if it just brings out the sparkle a little bit more when they're baked. This is pearl, just plain old pearl. This is the new sunset pearl. This is bright green pearl, peacock pearl, purple pearl, and graphite pearl. And this is the new graphite pearl, and it's quite a beauty. And all the pearls are lovely. They have a lot of mica powders and things in them. Now we'll jump back over to this side. These are the metallics. Now the metallics are basically exactly like the pearls. They have mica powders in them, and they are there's like basically no color shift other than they seem to get a tiny bit more sparkly when they are baked. This is silver, bronze, copper, gold, 18 karat gold, and antique gold. So there's a lot of golds in this line here. Now these are two specialty clays. They are, they have inclusions in them, so they have little bits of stuff in them. This is gray granite. And there used to be a white granite and a blue granite as well, but those have been discontinued. The gray granite has a bit of translucency to it, but because there's so many little particles in there, it's not exactly see-through, but there is a lightness that can get through it, and it also helps show all those little bits when the translucency, when it's baked. And then this is opal. Opal has a very big difference between the two. This is raw and baked. Opal has much more translucency to it once it's baked. I'll lift it up here. You can see there's a lot of light that can shine through it, but it also really helps with being able to show all those rainbowy layers. Now, the last row here is all the glitters. Now, the glitters are, some of these glitters here seem to have a fair amount of translucency to them, but because they're so full of glitter, they're not really that transparent, but it does make the glitters really show. It makes the clay, once it's baked, it's much more sparklier when it's baked than when it's raw. This color here is white gold. This is rose gold. And this is yellow gold. So white gold glitter, rose gold glitter, and yellow gold glitter. And then this one is red glitter, green glitter, blue glitter, and twinkle twinkle. Now these ones here you can see are a little darker, especially the green and the blue, but the others are pretty close to the same color. Now, lastly, these are the most recent colors to be discontinued. I did mention in the previous video that denim and navy were discontinued, but at the time I didn't realize that the translucents were also discontinued. So this is the blue translucent and the green translucent. Of course, they really show light through them. Let me just pick this one up and you can see that. And they're all like that, the blue, the green, the red, and the yellow. But you can make your own translucent tints if you like by just adding a little tiny pinch of one of the opaque colors into one of the translucent colors. And then with the navy, you can see when it's baked, it is very, very close to the ultramarine. The only difference is it's got a little bit more black in it. So you can add a little pinch of black to the ultramarine to get them to match up pretty close to the same. In fact, it's about 20 parts of ultramarine to 1 part black, except for if you're using it in a recipe and sometimes there's more black, and it can get more complicated when you try to change a color or in a recipe that used to have one of the discontinued colors. And I do a lot of color mixing, and I've found that just trying to change the recipes that had the different colors in it, denim or navy, was much more difficult than you would think. So it's easier for me if they don't discontinue colors. But as you can see, there's a lot of beautiful, beautiful colors with Premo. And most of the colors have very little color shifting. Now with some other brands, you'll see a huge difference in color shifts between raw and baked. And hopefully I'll be able to test some other brands as well in the future. All right, so I hope that was helpful for you. And if it was, do let us know if you liked this video. And don't forget, we have done tons and tons of videos. We've got all kinds of different subjects on polymer clay. So if you have a question that just a burning polymer clay question, make sure to search through our channel and all of our videos to see if we have already answered your question for you, because chances are we probably have. And if not, make sure to leave in the comment section below your suggestion for another video. All right, so we'll see you next time, and bye for now.